Hello, if we've never met before, my name is Rachel and I am a coach and healer helping people in intimacy and love and relationships, holistic health, healing, having more energy, improving their mood, overall improving their quality of life. And today I want to talk about how to improve an already existing romantic partnership or relationship. So I am a child. When I was 16, my parents divorced. My mom was really the one that wanted to work on their relationship, and they kind of started to, but my dad didn't really want to change. So I've seen this, in my life where the two people need to both want to change to improve the relationship. Because if one person is just carrying everything and saying, and this was my first relationship too, like, hey, come on, get better with me. Like, I want to move and grow. And you're dragging them along, you're going to have resentment on both sides because that person doesn't want to grow. And you doing all the heavy lifting doesn't want to feel like they're being dragged down. So in a partnership, you need to both want to grow and evolve and expand, again, individually, but how can this dynamic grow if you're in a relationship together too? So that's the very first thing. How to improve a relationship, both parties need to be on the same page. If they're not, yeah, that sucks and it's scary, but what are you going to do? One person is going to grow and change and the other one's not going to. And then again, that resentment is going to build. One of my favorite quotes is nothing changes if nothing changes. So how a relationship has gotten to the point that it has is there's been patterns and habits over time. Okay? So again, to improve a relationship, you need to both do individual work and then bring something new to the table. So a really great example would be if every time you two talk about, something in life, money, then you end up fighting, it's because you're both bringing the same patterns to that conversation, and triggers and big feelings just keep happening. So the biggest change in that would be, hey, can we have a conversation about money? It seems like in the past, we both get pretty triggered and upset. Maybe we should go talk to a counselor or a third party or a financial planner. Or an action step might be like, hey, you go learn something about money and how to talk about money in a healthy way, and you do it too. And then how about in a week or next Wednesday, we come back together and we talk about it. You can see how taking that step back and understanding and reflecting the same pattern has happened. So if you want a different pattern to change in the future, you both need to go do something different to bring something new to the table. It's like if you're creating something new for the first time, a new painting, a new entree if you're a cook, like whatever it is, you've both got to be different to bring something different to the table to move forward. Okay? So that's a money example, but I don't know, if you want to change a dynamic in like extended family, like mothers-in-law or, other family members-in-law included, right? Like let's say you go to a holiday and one of the partners really doesn't like to go to the other ones because it's so toxic and icky. Okay, well, if you guys want to improve your relationship, how can you improve that situation? Would it be okay if that person is allowed to stay home, or kind of have a set time limit on it? Like, hey, I'm only going to go 2 hours and then I'm going to book it. If you both agree on something ahead of time, that's going to improve your relationship instead of going into something and forcing it and trying to make it perfect. Again, personal example, growing up, I would have family vacations. And of course, when you look at vacations, it's like yes, I get to have time off, I get to relax, when I was a kid, it would be go do fun, theme park, attraction park kind of things. But there were lots of situations where my family wouldn't get along. So to have the really high pedestal of everything's gonna go great and perfect to, moods happen and triggers happen, that's very difficult to navigate. So if you can understand what triggers, right, like the family or holiday example, and set boundaries or expectations ahead of time, you can improve a relationship, because you can both understand, like, hey, this is what works for me, and hey, this is what works for me. What's the middle ground of, compromise? It seems like compromise is a pretty big thing in relationships that has to happen because two individuals need to be individual. But again, what are you bringing to the table in the dynamic together? What's another example? I would say bringing like joy to aspect of relationship, right? Again, very much looking at, a lot of people are stuck in survival mode. Like, I just have to work, work, work. There's no time for joy and play. Or when the play is there, it's like using substances and, spending a lot of money. Okay. So on a daily basis, if you want to build trust and joy and authenticity and connection in a relationship, it does come down to the smaller things. The extravagance of new big cars, or again, lots of money spent on a thing, the novelty wears off fairly quickly. So if you want to improve your relationship on a daily basis, each individual has to really, again, reflect on what brings them joy, and they each have to do that individually. Okay? Because if one person isn't happy and they're just not making themselves happy, they're going to bring their unhappy selves to all areas of their life, not only their relationship. So maybe you do need some time apart, right? Create space between you. You need to go find who you are. You need to go find who you are. And then again, maybe on next Thursday, hey, you want to spend that night together and reflect on what we found? Or what did you both enjoy doing as a kid? I don't know, I'm seeing the visual now of like that marble painting or like those spin art back in the day. Like, hey, do you want to do that together and see what we can learn from each other? Right? Bring joy to what you do on a daily basis. If you're joyful in your life, you're going to have more joy in your relationship, because you're just oozing out joy instead of putting pressure on the other person to bring you happiness and joy, right? Really focus on you and how you can become your most highly expressed, authentic, real version of yourself. And again, that just oozes out into all parts of your life. Trust, I would say, is built in very tiny moments. Again, it's not big displays of affection. It's about, hey, with my big emotions and feelings or something scary or vulnerable, can I share that with you? And maybe that person, the other person, isn't ready to take it in because, they're triggered, they're upset, they had a big day. Okay, that person who wants to share their big feelings and emotions needs to understand that them not being ready to hold their big emotions and feelings isn't personal. It's not because they don't love you. That's what a lot of stories in people's heads are, is they don't love me, they don't pay enough attention to me. Like, no, maybe they're just upset because they had a big long day. If you want more one-to-one support in creating a happier, healthier relationship, email me down below. I'd love to connect. I do offer coaching. So coaching sessions are going to be a little bit what I was talking about today. Like, hey, you in the relationship, go reflect on these things. You go do this action step. And then together in the relationship or the session, let's have the big feelings wheel out. Let's talk about inner child work or healing. And then healing, I kind of mix the two because they're so connected for me. But healing would be opening the heart chakra where their heart blockage is here. We can also do like root chakra. I also work with angels a lot, angel healing. Individually, we can look at why someone is more wounded than the other person. So yeah, email me down below if you would like to improve your relationship. I'd love to help if I can, if we're a good match. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you soon.